All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast. And for the second part of the show, we are now going to discuss the second National League Division Series. And, it's about the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. This is the team that I really want to apologize to because, listen, I'm going to apologize to the Rangers, too, when we get to that. Well, I'm not going to apologize to the Rangers because I said that they could definitely upset the Orioles. But I will apologize to the Diamondbacks because I really didn't give them a shot. I didn't. I just thought, listen, the Dodgers are the better team, and I just thought with their lineup that they were ultimately going to be the team that won the series. But that was not the case. I mean, not only did the Dodgers not win the series, they got swept by the Diamondbacks, who, you look at the win-loss records between these two teams, right? Dodgers, they won their 100 games, right? There was a 16-game difference between their records. And Diamondbacks wiped the floor with them. So let's go through the three games. So, game one, you had Merrill Kelly against Clayton Kershaw. Now, I said, I do remember saying, listen, Clayton Kershaw has had his struggles in the postseason. And obviously he's getting older, too. Oh, boy. Top of the first. Diamondbacks put up a 6 spot. Corbin Carroll, RBI single. Christian Walker, RBI double. Gabriel Moreno, 3-run home run to make it 5-0. Evan Longoria to make it 6-0. Then Corbin Carroll, home run, top of the second. Lourdes Gurriel, he had an RBI double. Evan Longoria, sac fly. Alec Thomas, he hit a solo home run, and Tommy Pham hit a solo home run. So really everybody got involved for the Diamondbacks. Did everybody get a hit in this game for them, actually? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much everybody that was starting, because they put in Peterson and Perdomo didn't get a hit. But I guess Peterson came in as a defensive replacement. But yeah, the Dodgers, they didn't score their 2 runs until the 8th inning, and those came off the bat of Will Smith, who had an RBI triple. So the Dodgers lost the first game 11-2. All right, so that was on Saturday. So now we get to Monday. All right, you got Bobby Miller on the mound, making his postseason debut. Diamondbacks put up a 3 spot in the first inning. Zach Gallen was pitching for them, and he got the win in this game. So Christian Walker, sac fly. Gabriel Moreno grounded out. Gurriel, he had a single. So it was 3-0. And bottom of the fourth, J.D. Martinez, solo home run. So that made it 3-1. Then Gurriel Jr. homer to make it 4-1. And then Kike Hernandez singled in the bottom of the 6th. And that made it 4-2. And that was the final score. Bobby Miller, he only pitched 1 2/3 innings. They used the bullpen the rest of the way. He gave up 3 earned runs. So he really wasn't that good. I mean, let's go back to Kershaw for a second. So his ERA is 162 after that start. I mean, that's crazy. So his final stat line, actually, just to go back to that. So Kershaw only got 1 out. 6 earned runs, 6 hits, 1 walk. Again, ERA's at 162. It finishes at for this year. I mean, that's the whole MLB season. 162. So now they went back to Arizona, and the Diamondbacks, they got the job done. And they did something that actually wasn't done before. They hit 4 home runs in the same inning in a playoff game. Perdomo, he hit a home run. Kentel Marte homered. Christian Walker homered. And then Gabriel Moreno hit a home run, but then it got called back. And then guess what happens? He still hit a home run. He hits a home run after that. And then that's all she wrote. Dodgers got 2 runs late in the game. They were trying to mount a comeback, and they just couldn't do it. And they lose 4-2, and they get swept. Yeah, very disappointing for the Dodgers. But again, I want to apologize to the Diamondbacks because you know what? They've been playing well. They have been playing well in these playoffs. Now, I said they would beat the Brewers just because I didn't trust the Brewers. The Dodgers, I figured, you know what? They're the better team. But, the Dodgers' flaws. But, again, in the back of my mind, listen, Kershaw, not the best when it comes to the postseason. Bobby Miller, he's making his first postseason start. Lance Lynn hasn't been good. I mean, that's your rotation. Urias, his off the field stuff, he wasn't an option, and you got Dustin May, who, he wasn't an option either. So the Dodgers were dealing, and Walker Buehler's not there too. So the Dodgers, they were dealing with a lot of injuries going into this series. And, it kind of showed. But I think the other thing, too, the other big thing, is the fact that Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts went a combined 1 for 21 in this series. That is horrendous. And that's not what you want. So the Dodgers, they just didn't hit. And you know what? I mean, the game one, you give Kershaw Kershaw didn't give them a chance. I mean, they were down 6-0 before they even came up to the plate. It was an awful performance. Terrible. And now the Diamondbacks, they go up against the Phillies. And listen, I'm not going to say I'm going to give them no chance. I think they'll win at least a game or two. But I you know what? I got to disrespect them even more because I'm going to take the Phillies in the series. I think the Phillies win in 6 games and they get back to the World Series. I really do, But got to give the Diamondbacks credit. They played really well in this postseason. They haven't lost a game yet. Think about that. They're undefeated. That's got to count for something, right? Yeah, absolutely, because it's got them to the championship series now. And, you got to like what their pitching's doing. Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen, they've looked good. Ford has, done what he's supposed to do. And the lineup's doing good. I mean, listen, that Blue Jays trade, I mean, the Diamondbacks won that by a long shot. I mean, Gurriel Jr. and Moreno, they won that trade. Corbin Carroll, he's having an unbelievable postseason. Let's actually look at his numbers right now from this postseason. If I can pull his numbers up really quickly here. So, in the postseason right now, so he's batting .412 in 17 at-bats. He's batting .412, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and he's got an OPS that's over 1,300. He's been unbelievable this year. Well, in the postseason so far. And, I expect that to continue in this series against the Phillies, although I'm not picking them to win. You gotta give props to the Diamondbacks, really. For the Dodgers, I mean, a lot of question marks. A lot of question marks going into the offseason. Does Dave Roberts come back? I think Dodger fans are kind of done with him. This was a year they kind of let go of a lot of guys. They dealt with some injuries. They had their 100-win season, but they just didn't do anything. I mean, it's the same thing as last year. The Braves and the Dodgers, they get to the postseason, and what do? They do nothing. But one of the things that I want to talk about, and, obviously we're recapping all the series, so I'm not really going to get to it, but there was a article that came out by Ken Rosenthal regarding the playoff format and just how, the layoff that a lot of these teams have is not good. I think that's essentially what it was about. And, there are people complaining about the playoff format and how, all these teams, like the Dodgers and the Braves, it's affecting them, and that's why you're seeing all these upsets. And my response to that is, well, you know what? If you're really that good of a team, then that shouldn't affect you, because we'll talk about a team in the next segment where that had no impact on them whatsoever. They were able to move on to their championship series for the 7th year, the 6th year, or 7th year? Hold on. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah, the 7th year in a row they're in the championship series. And they had a bye. That didn't impact them. So why all of a sudden, oh, well, the Braves and the Dodgers. You know? What, like, I don't know. But yeah. Actually, I think what was I saying that I just remember now that I think I said that Bryce Harper like had his only home runs in the series but they played I forgot that they even played the Marlins in the first round. That's how long ago. So I completely forgot about that. But yeah, like just a quick thing to correct myself there. But yeah, like I just what are we making excuses? If these teams are that good, they should be able to, deal with it. Or you know what? One of the alternate, things they could do is you go back to the one-game playoff, which, I don't want to go back to. I don't, because I don't want to see the Yankees playing in another one of those. No, the Yankees missed the playoffs, so it doesn't really matter. But, sorry, don't want to bring them up. But, force a habit. You bring back the one-game playoff, and then you add. You make the division series a 7-game series as well. I like that idea. I'm fine with that. I'd be okay with that. Although again, not a big fan of the the 1-game wild card. But if they bring it back, they bring it back. So yeah. I mean, again, just another disappointing end to the season for the Dodgers, of course. I mean, what else is there to say? But you know what? Congrats to the Diamondbacks. Good for them. Like they played well. They played well. They were the better team in this series. The Dodgers, their pitching was not good, and their hitting was again their two best players, a combined 1 for 21 in the series. So, yeah, not good for the Dodgers. They got some things they got to figure out in the offseason. But I mean, the biggest concern I think is, when you got your star players going a combined 1 for 21. I mean, that's awful. That's not going to get it done. So. But congrats to the Diamondbacks. I'm sorry for disrespecting you, but I'm going to disrespect you some more because I'm taking the Phillies in 6 games. So. So that's pretty much it when it comes to this topic. So with that, we are going to take our second break of the show, and then when we come back, we are going to talk about the Houston Astros, my favorite team, and how they advanced to the ALCS once again. So stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast.